Guess what? I'm back. Welcome everyone to the New Fly Fisher. I'm your host, Bill Spicer. On this week's show, we're in northwestern Ontario and our species is smallmouth bass. We're going to talk about smallmouth bass throughout the season. Your techniques will change as the season progresses. It's going to be a great show, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ooh, that's a nice size fish. What?
Absolutely fantastic.
The New Fly Fisher is brought to you in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orbis Fly Fishing, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,
Sunset Country in northwestern Ontario. There are over 70,000 lakes, and finding uncrowded angling opportunities is never hard. Sunset Country is located directly north of Minnesota. When talking about freshwater fishing, Sunset Country is always mentioned. Nowhere else do the lakes offer such a variety of species: trophy-sized smallmouth bass, walleye, and huge pike, with some lakes even offering muskie. This week we travel to one such place, Branches Scene River Lodge. Our host and guide this week is lodge owner Quentin Branch. Quint, as he likes to be called, grew up in the area and is an expert guide. I know with his help, I will be successful. Have you ever fished your favorite smallmouth bass lake one day and the fish are active and hungry, but the next time you return to the lake, they're not in the same areas you fished before? Why is this? This episode, we're going to explore how you must change tactics when fishing smallmouth in the spring, summer, and fall. Before they spawn in the spring, smallmouth move near sun-warmed shorelines and back bays. These areas warm up first and attract bait fish, thus attracting smallmouth. If you find water temperatures from 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you will find feeding fish. They feed there until the shoreline water temperatures reach 65 to 70 degrees, and then they begin spawning in 2 to 6 feet of water. Consistent pre-spawn fly fishing is best with subsurface imitations of minnows, leeches, and aquatic insects. The best topwater action is around late spring, after fish recuperate from spawning. Watch as Colin McEwen and his daughter Jenna have great fun with streamers and poppers when they visited Scene River Lodge early in the season.
So it's first thing in the morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be hot. It's perfect conditions for topwater bass fishing. But it's been a cool night, so the water temperature is still high 50s. I think once it gets into the low 60s, the topwater will be on. But what we're gonna do, we just fished along the shoreline. We haven't had any hits yet on topwater. So I'm gonna switch to a subsurface. I'm gonna fish the ledge, the drop-off edges down below, and see if I can move a fish. Meanwhile, Jenna will continue to use the popper, and between the two of us, we'll figure this out. And I think we're going to get some bass here very shortly. And as it gets warmer, it's going to get really exciting.
Dad?
Got bass. So I kind of did a bad thing. I kind of poached this fish from Jenna.
Yeah, not funny.
I cast, she put her popper up onto the shallow edge there, brought it across, and then I cast right to the edge. My fly dropped down, and I don't think it sank more than a couple feet, and I felt a tug, and I got this bass. First bass of the day. So they're not on top yet. We haven't had anything come up, but that's okay. That's how it is. Oh, just a nice bass. Look at this. That's not bad, is it, Darcy?
That's a very nice one.
All right. That's, oh, that's.
Biggest problem so far.
I think so. This is 4 pounds, easy. Wow. Whoa!
Oh, that's a big bass.
Look at that. All right. Look at that. Support it.
I see more bass.
Look at that. And Jenna says she sees some more bass. That's perfect. But this is what we're looking for. I'm gonna quickly pop the fly out here. There we go. Oh, look at that fish. That is absolutely gorgeous. And what's incredible, as I release this fish, I want to get her in the water quick. I can see the lodge right there. We're 2 minutes away from the lodge. And Jenna's seen fish first thing in the morning, and it's gonna be a great top water day. I just got that subsurface. It's fantastic.
Areas you should fish are rocky points, sunken islands, and reefs. These are huge fish attractors. Always fish a sunken island thoroughly, as you never know what side the fish are feeding on. Most poppers that are commercially sold have a weed guard attached. When fishing smallmouth, we like to remove this guard, as most of the structure we fish is rock and wood. Also, coloring the bottom of the popper black with a felt pen helps the fish see the popper when the skies are bright.
I have a fish. It's a big bass. Oh. Thank you, Daddy. Thanks, Dad. That's an awesome fish. And there he goes. It's just bass after bass. I don't have any words. This is so cool. I have a fish on, never mind. Got distracted by your fish, just barely even felt him. Good job, Dad.
Now that's a smallmouth.
Spring smallmouth fishing can be non-stop. Look for warming back bays and shorelines with structure and water temperatures between 55 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Structure to look for could be rock or wood, anywhere a bass can hide and find food. Remember, at this time of year, the smallmouth bass are close to shore and feeding heavily. 5 years ago, I fished at Branch's Scene River Lodge in July. My tactics had to change from the spring because bass move to water temperatures that they're more comfortable in. Another hot spot that will hold smallmouth, and usually lots of them, are sunken islands. The rocks forming the island attract bait fish, which in turn attracts predators such as bass and pike. Always fish this structure thoroughly.
Might a little bit of a weed patch there. Fish on. Don't know if it's a pike. Oh, that's a small one. Right beside the weed. Right beside the weed. Good smallie too, yeah. Very nice. Very nice. right beside the weed up there on this little rock island. This is mainly what we got to fish. This is a nice fish. Good fish. I'll net it. Yeah, going a little crazy right now. He's Clouser minnow. They, Darcy told me that they liked chartreuse, so I went chartreuse over white. There we go. That's a pretty good bass. Pretty good bass, so. This is not a bad bass. This is more like it. I would think that's, 15 inches long, 16 inches long. Nice one. And, that was great. Now, you're always looking for structure, but on this lake, the best structure is rock piles. Smallmouth just hang out in rock piles. There's a little bit of a weed there, and I was just off to the left of it, so he was sitting right there. He hit it as soon as the fly landed in there. Oh, that was a fish. That was a fish. There we go. Got him. I don't know what it is, but I got a fish. It was twice he grabbed it. Sort of feels like Mr. Pike, I don't know. He's staying down. I don't know yet. The sun's gone away, so I really can't see. Staying down, it feels kind of like a pike, but I don't know. It might be a big bass. I've got a, whoa, it's a nice big bass. I went bigger on my bait to a game changer, it's called. This is a wonderful, wonderful fly. I'm really not sure who invented it, but it is a dynamite fly. It's got lots of action. It's sort of like a stick jerk bait. You got to put the action on it, but it's really big. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a very good fish. And I'm trying to, I don't want him to jump too much. He hit it twice. First time he just grabbed the tail. And I'll lead him to you. Yes, sir, thank you very much. Sir, oh yes, this is more like it. This is, this is a Seine River smallmouth. How do you like that, folks? That's a Seine River smallmouth, and that's the game changer. This thing, it's got lots of action on it, and it's just got one hook, like that. It's a great, great fly. But yeah, that's more like it. Got a great rock pile here. Coming up. Fish on. Game changer. Got the, whoa, yeah. I'm using a heavier rod to cast this. This is a very heavy system. But the bass seem to like it. The game changer is really a big fly, heavy. It's tough to cast with a 6-weight. So I've gone to an 8-weight here. That's a hungry bass, because that's a big fly. Thank you, sir. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Now I put a stinger hook on it. Just a piece of wire and another hook, because the game changer, the hook is up front, so they got to more or less swallow it, and that fish is just too small. But with the stinger hook on there, it really makes a difference. Not very big, but it'll do. Got it. Whoa! Grabbed it right there. Let's see if he'll take it again. I didn't even get to pop it. I have been using a popper in this back bay here because it's nice and calm, and I wanted something that made some noise, but we're actually in about 8 or 9 feet of water, and they could be just a little bit off right now and not willing to come up that far. So I'm going to switch to a subsurface that I can let sink a little bit and try to fish closer to the bottom.
Even though the fish are deeper at this time of year, I always try a popper when the water calms down, as it is now. Smallmouth can't resist a noisy popper on the surface.
Missed it. Got it that time. Don't know if that was a bass or a pike. And the way it's fighting, I think it might be a pike. We'll see. Yeah, it's staying down like a pike. Well, don't know yet. Oh no, big bass. Big bass. You just don't know in these waters. I've had so many pike that you get a little weary of the weeds. Trying to manage my line and get them on the reel. But this is a good bass. He struck at it once, missed, and I just gave it one more pop and he hit it. Oh yeah, nice bass. Get him up on the top more. Very nice bass. Wow. Okay, I think he's about ready. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Wow. Now this is a good bass. There you go. It's a good bass. Not huge. I called it a lunker, but it looks magnified more into the water. But yeah, on top water, this is fun.
In review, summertime conditions dictate that fish are mostly deeper, but close to drop-offs and sunken islands. This way they have easy access to shallow water and bait fish, then retreat to deeper, cooler water they are more comfortable in. Quint, can you give me a short history of the lodge?
Well, the lodge, we think was built in the early 30s. Not a whole lot of information back then, but some people just put it together and cut some trees on there and built some cabins. My parents bought it in 1967. At that point, it was still a train-in camp. You cut the train in and got off a little path and walked into the camp. My wife and I bought it in 2001, so we've had it a couple of decades now. And my parents, the first 35 years that our family had it, modernized it with a road to the highway, with electricity and running water and stuff like that. And since then, we've kind of just built on what they've already started.
I'm back now in September, and unexpectedly, the weather's still pleasant. So I expect summer conditions. I will have to search for fish. I'm going to concentrate on land points, sunken islands, and sudden depth changes. What I'm doing is we're in quite deep water here, 26, and it raises up to sometimes 10, 12 feet in the hump going up like that. That's what we're fishing. Now, I got to get down. The fish aren't going to be up higher. They're going to be down lower. So what I'm doing is after I cast, I'm counting to 20 in my head before I do anything. Just let it sink. Let it sink. And count to 20 in your head. Once you get to 20, then I figure you're close to the bottom. Then all I'm doing is just little twitches. Like that. And that should get something to the head. Now, I've been half an hour dragging around a woolly bugger. I got one little touch. They don't seem to want it. So I'm going to go to a leech pattern. What I've tied on, and this is got a good heavy head. It's jointed, so it'll give lots of action down there. And I'm going to twitch it as close to the bottom as I can. And we're in like 20 feet of water. I'm going to have to count it down again, 20, 30 seconds before I start adding any action. That should get it to the bottom. With my sink tip line and the weighted head on this, should be good.
So we're just coming up to that little hump again here.
Black leech works everywhere.
Yeah, we have a pile right here, almost 24 feet.
There we go. There we go. No, that's the bottom.
Bottom.
So it's good to know I was down that far.
Yeah, that's really good. Like I said, it's completely against so we're marking a ton here, 24 feet, which is about where you were.
And keeping with our rule of telling it like it is, we fished hard all day and were not rewarded. Time to go back and regroup and decide what we will do tomorrow. We were, however, treated to some nice northern lights to end the day. The next day, Quint suggested we head for a place simply called The Stumps. We're going to fish a little shallower today in about 11 to 15 feet of water.
It's a bass. Yeah. Now, we've come and we're fishing along the banks here where it drops off right down to 12, 15 feet. And we were in deeper water before, but I think maybe they're coming in to feed. Yeah. Oh, good fight. Good fight. He grabbed my bottom fly, which is that jointed, oh, and he let go. Wouldn't you believe it? Oh, well. You know, folks, that's the way my luck is running this week. But we just proved where the fish are. So I think we're going to stick around this area, back and forth, and I'll cast off points. I'll cast towards shore, bring it out, and hopefully I can do that again. But that was he hit that like a ton. Bam! Quint, you got some really well-equipped boats here. Can you describe them for us? Tell us what they're equipped with.
Okay, we've got a couple different boat options for our packages. We've got a standard kind of skiff-type boat with bench seats with swivel seats on them, 15-horse four-stroke motors, Yamahas or Hondas. They all have depth finders, anchors, of course, paddles, and life jackets. And then we have our upgrade boat, which is a 16-foot Lund Fury, and they've got the flat floors. They tend, the upgrade boats tend to be the favorite for the fly fishermen or fly fisher people, because the casting deck and it's quite nice to be able to stand and not have your knees pointed together while you're trying to get a line out in the water.
Fish on. We're fishing again like we were yesterday, between the stumps and the shoreline. And I think it's a little pike, I'm not sure. Sun is at a different angle today.
I gotta tighten my...
There we go.
Just a little guy.
Yeah. But there will be big guys.
Oh yeah.
Where little guys are, big guys are too. Now what we're doing is the beginning of the stumps is here and the shoreline. This has been a hot spot for us, and Quint says it's been a hot spot most days. If for some reason they want to hang around here, there's a lot of wood and boulders on the bottom here that we can't see. So that's the structure they want. So it's between the stumps and the shoreline. We've got nothing in the stumps. It's between the shoreline and the stumps. And that's on Quint's map that he gives you when you come here. He'll take you around, show you everything. You got a detailed map. Quite easy. Now, we've run into a situation. The wind is coming this way and it's blowing quite hard. If I was to do a normal overhead cast, the fly would be blown into me. and especially with these weighted systems. I'm going to show you a cast here. It's called a water load cast, and I'm going to use my back cast as my presentation cast. So what I do is I turn around and I get a cast going away from the wind. I let the fly hit the water, and then I pick it up and throw it. And you can get all the line out completely. Quint, what species can we catch while we're up this way?
In this area, in this particular system we're on, which is a 5-lake system connected by the Seine River, we have walleye, really good smallmouth bass, northern pike, crappie, perch, and a few whitefish and suckers and things like that thrown in for good measure. In the area, we also have some lakes that feature lake trout, so you can't get them from our docks, but you can trailer to them and launch at them, or we have boats and motors on them as portage lakes.
In the Bay of Stumps, there was one particularly good land point that I was catching fish. Remember, at this time of year, the fish are starting to school for the winter. So if you find fish, don't move to another spot. One of my mentors had a saying, you never leave fish to find fish.
Fish on. Stay on. Staying down. Staying down.
Sounds like a bass then, no?
It's bass.
Bass?
Yep.
Little guy.
I'll let you even show that one there, Quint. I don't want to handle it.
Okay. It's a little guy.
But we
Nice.
changed tactics.
Yeah.
We went from deep to shallow water. We're starting to hit some fish now. Okay. Beautiful. Now, the rods we used on this episode are 3 rods that I like to bring in the fall. 2 are 6 weights, which is normal for me for smallmouth bass, and 1 is a 9 weight. Why the 9 weight? Well, at this time of year, you must fish deep a lot of the times, and I've found in the past with a 6 weight rod, when a fish hits when you're 20 feet down, the stretch of the line and the bend of the rod, you can't set the hook properly. With a 9 weight, it's got enough backbone. When I lift up, it sets the hook. That's the reason I use that. Now, let's talk about the 6 weights. They're rigged up differently. First is a floating line with a popper. We occasionally at this time of year will run into popper action. So you got to be ready, or subsurface action that's close to the surface. A floating line is best for that. Then I have an intermediate sinking line, but I've also added a sinking leader to it because I wanted to get it down to around 8 or 9 feet if I can, maybe 10 feet, because the bass at this time of year are down there. Now with the 9 weight, I have a full sinking line on it. This is for getting down and fishing the humps. It's strong enough to set the hook. The full sinking line with, I actually have weighted flies. They get down 15 feet or better. Where I found most of the fish today were in between 10 and 15 feet. So this is what I used, and it was perfect for that. And when the fish hit, I was able to set the hook. The reels that I'm using are to match the size of the rod. So these are 6 weight reels and a 9 weight reel. I bring an extra rod only because, and it's back in my cabin, in case I break one, because you never know what's going to happen. So that, in a nutshell, is your equipment. Fish on. Okay.
Oh boy, we have found a honeypot of fish. This one hit so hard, it stripped the line right through my fingers right away. I'm hoping it's a bass. Oh man, yes. Man, oh man. And it ran right at us. I've never had a bass do that. Run right at me. Salmon do that. This is, oh, do you believe that?
It counts.
Yeah, that one, I'm counting that one,
Yeah.
folks. I'm counting that one.
I'm voting with you.
But we've gone exploring. We fished deep, we fished shallow. We're actually fishing in about 12 to 15 feet right now. And I'm casting out and I'm counting it down till I'm figuring around 10 feet and then I start retrieving it. That seems to be the trick today. And that one hammered it. And it was from here to here before I even knew it. It was crazy good. This day has been very frustrating to me. I lost a lot of fish today. We're going back for supper, and I'm going to spend some time tonight sharpening hooks. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off in the stumps, but in the afternoon, we'll move to deeper water. Yep. Not very big. I don't know if it's a pike or a bass. Can't see. No,
Little bass?
That was a small bass. And it hit my Scotty's McFly. Right there, the silver and orange. Bass seemed to really like that fly. Okay. Oh. Yep. I don't know.
You see what it
Fishing the
was?
stumps again. It's the only place we found consistent fish, but they're not very big. Another smallie, but it's a small smallie. Bring it up here in a second. There we come. And hit Scotty's McFly again. There we go. Great. Oh yeah, whoa. Whoa. That was a heck of a hit. Oh. Come on. Wow. He scared me when he hit that hard. Come on. Don't get in the wood. Don't get in the... There we go. Whoa! Ah, decent one.
A little bigger.
Little big. It's not a monster by any means, but it's a little better. Boy, there's one thing about smallmouth. They always fight with attitude. Oh, there. Oh my God. Good man. Now that's a little better fish. It's not huge,
but it's a little better. Oh, took the black bugger?
Quint and I had been discussing why most of the fish had been small. He said the bigger fish at this time of year usually have moved to deeper water. He suggested that we explore some deep underwater humps close by. Traveling over to the deep water, I took time to change up flies. Now, how do you find these humps? This is when a sonar is worth its weight in gold.
Allowing it to sink. We've been marking them at 15 feet, so I'm thinking about there. The fact that we have sonar is just so valuable to a man that's out in a lake and trying to find structure. Whoa, yeah. Whoa.
That's got to be a bass
It's gotta be. Please let it be.
or a great white shark.
Yes. Jaws.
Turn that off.
Let's see what we got. I can see something coming up. That's my first fly. It hit the orange. And we just marked, wow, we just marked a fish. Wow.
I think that's probably
On
that
the
15
on the sonar. And this feels like a good fish. I think I'm gonna get him on the reel. We're fishing a hump, and what we're doing basically is finding the fish, and I'm trying to get down to as far as they are, and drifting over them, and just twitching as much as I to make it. Oh, don't stab at it. There we go. Oh yes, it's a good bass. And he hit my orange woolly bugger, barbless. There you go. That's 18 inches.
I think, eh?
Man, that was more like it. We searched and searched and searched. We found a lot of small fish. I had a chance at some big ones earlier. That was a really good fish in anybody's mind. It wasn't a 20-incher, but it was 17 inches. Good solid 17. I got it on an orange bugger. Now, why I picked orange is Quint told me that one of his favorite lures when he was fishing around here was an orange rapella. So I thought, well, I'll throw an orange woolly bugger on. And I got a full sink line on, and I had to be down at least 15 feet because that's where the fish were. This time of year, you have to get down and dirty. I got her down, and I was trying to touch the bottom if I could. And just twitch, 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 and finally, wham, it hit. And there was no doubt about it when it did hit. Wow. Oh, yeah, yep. Passing over the humps. And I'm getting down, and I'm twitching along the bottom as close as I can get to the bottom. Now, this one doesn't feel huge, but we'll see. It's got shaking its head pretty big, but not like anything like the last fish I got. We'll see. Oh. Look at that. Even they fight with attitude. You gotta love smallmouth. They never give up. Good man. All right. All right. Now that's a better fish. I was calling it small. Man, oh man. I thought it was a small fish, but it's smaller, but it's still not a bad fish. And it fought with attitude. And again, on the orange woolly bugger. Look at how big the belly is. It just threw up 2 Cisco's. So it's got a belly full of minnows right now, and it was still feeding. So these fish can be voracious at times. And away he goes. Well, it's come to the end of the show. First off, I'd like to thank everybody that sent me well wishes and greetings during my recent absence from the new fly fisher. Thank you, it meant a lot. Now, the techniques we showed you today will work in most places that have smallmouth. For more information on this show and others in our series, visit us on the web at thenewflyfisher.com. From all of us here at The New Fly Fisher, thanks for joining us. Tight lines, and we'll see you next time.
The New Fly Fisher is brought to you in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited, WeatherTech Canada,